Hi, my name's Neil Munday and I'm your host for the Stirling Business Podcast. The podcast is brought to you from Studio King Street here in the heart of Stirling. You can book our wonderful studio by going onto our website and making a booking that way, or sending an email to inquiries@studiokingstreet.com. Or you can simply pick up the phone and give Laura a call to make your booking. So, over to this week's episode of the Stirling Business Podcast. Mairead Hume, Harris Tweed Golf Collection. Thanks for coming along to Studio King Street today and to participate in the Stirling Business Podcast. So, are you a Stirling lady?
I am. I'm a Stirling lass, and I was born and brought up in Causeway Head. Right. And my father was the local policeman, and we lived there for 30 years. And my father came from Ireland, actually. He came from Donegal. And he had lost both his parents very young at 19, and he arrived over here where his sister was. And he was patrolling the streets of Stirling, and this lovely lady cycled past him, and he thought, I like her, and that was my mum.
So there's a little story there. So this street, this building, probably they probably met very close to here.
Very close to here. Yes, absolutely, at the top of King Street, I think it was.
Fantastic. Okay, that's a little bit surreal, isn't it? Really?
Yeah, it is.
Okay, so before we get into the detail of your business, Mairead.
That's right.
I'm trying to remember Mairead Ferrari. I'm trying to kind of train my mind to
just remember Mairead Ferrari. Okay, and you'll never forget it.
So before we get into that, tell us a little bit more about your background. You've talked a little bit about where you grew up, but a little bit about your kind of career before you ended up setting up this fabulous business.
Yeah, so I'm a local lass from Causeway Head, and education-wise went to local schools, went to Riverside Primary School, and where my mother went as well, and then on to Wallace High School, and left Wallace High School with all my hires as they were in that day, and had a definite path that I was taking, and that was into sports physiotherapy. Right. So as we know, life doesn't go in a straight line. There's lots of curves, lots of turns, and I was unfortunately unable to get a place at college just because there wasn't enough places in that time when I was going to college. So I had to change tact. And at the age of 18, my very first venture that I did was I went on to Camp America. So I wanted to go and travel, and my background really has been revolving around sales, travel and sport. So I went off to Camp America, which I would highly recommend to any young person, and I went and taught water skiing. So,
could you water ski when you went there?
Yes, I could. Luckily I could. I used to water ski every week up in the lochs and the Trossachs. So that was my passion at the time, was water skiing. So off I went to America for 3 months, and met people from all over the world, learned a lot of resilience and independence and adaptability to new environments and new people. And I absolutely loved it. So I had a little travel bug in me by that point. So after 3 months, I came home, and my first full-time job was in Stirling, and it came from my Saturday job, which was with a local boutique. And it's still going strong to this day. And can I say who it is?
Of course you can. Stirling Business, always good.
It's Stone's in Port Street, which used to be known as Avanti. Now, I don't know if you remember that back in the day, Neil, but it was the place to go and buy your clothes as a youngster. And Stirling had lots of nightclubs and bars, and the young people were all out on a Saturday night, and they all wanted nice gear to go to the disco. Okay. And so that was where I was really taught how to sell. And for me, it was a real buzz when I had a customer that would come in and they wanted a shirt to go out on the Saturday night, and we would kit them all out and he would end up buying a shirt, a pair of trousers, a belt, a pair of shoes. So he looked $1 million when he left.
Just upselling the whole wardrobe.
Upselling the whole thing, and that was the whole connecting to the emotion of the customer, connecting to the customer's needs, and listening, and to this day, those skills are relevant to selling, whether you're selling digitally or whether you're selling face-to-face. So that was where my sales training came in.
100%. I was 30 years in the sales career before I decided to become a property developer and everything else you can see around us. So, without that, I would have been in a very different place. Having those skills or just... so
and there's a real buzz from it, and I felt good because my customer felt good, and so that I identified very quickly that sales was for me. And then from there, I had a temporary job at Airdrie Sheriff Court. A complete change. It was just a friend. It was looking for somebody to come and work. And that was where my administration skills came in. And a completely fascinating job, actually, working in the court system. But one day I was having lunch and I was reading through, I think it was the Glasgow Herald or something, and I saw a job advert. And it was for a rep for Thompson Holidays. And I was like, yes, that's for me.
Not an 18 to 30 rep or anything
no,
like that.
No, it wasn't an 18 to 30. But I had that travel bug in me from being in America. So I thought, you know what, I'm going to try for that. So I went for an interview to London. And I was still quite young, and that was a big thing, to get on the train, go down to London and get an interview, and managed to get the job. So that job allowed me to travel extensively. And the very first country I ever went to, I got put onto their luxury brand, and I went to Yugoslavia. And I was like, where's Yugoslavia? I'm like, I haven't been to Yugoslavia. I still don't know where it is. No, but a fantastic experience. And from there, I travelled through Europe, Italy, Spain, France. I went out to Jamaica for 6 months, lived in America for many years. So
I take it you got the job then?
Yeah, I did. I did. And so again, this taught me sales. It taught me how to be resilient, being away from home, and customer-facing job, making people happy in the hospitality industry, which is probably one of my strengths, to make sure that people are happy, comfortable, and enjoying their holiday. So it was perfect for me, and I loved travelling. And I have great friends that I still have from the day that I started travelling. So that was amazing. And then I was in Colorado skiing, so I snow ski as well. And I met the director of a company in Edinburgh called
like the female version of Sport Billy.
Yeah, I know. I was always really sporty, but it had to be sport with speed and balance. That was my thing. So I met the director of Ski Independence, which is an independent ski company in Edinburgh, and again on a luxury level. And he convinced me to come and work with him. And this gave me a foothold back to the UK, because he wanted me in Edinburgh for the summer and then Colorado for the winter. So I thought, great, I'm still travelling. But by this point, I'm mid-30 and I'm thinking I need to buy property. I need to get a hold of coming back home. So I did that and bought property in Causeway Head, wanted to come home, wanted to come back to my roots. And then we ran into some visa issues after about 7 years of working over there. So we couldn't get around them, and I had to come home. And this was a major blow, because I'd always travelled, and I was quite upset that I had to come home and be here all the time. However, I met my very dear friend Graham Pook, who owns a luxury golf tour operator business in Bridge of Allen, and an amazing company that is achieving just phenomenal luxurious tours for mainly Americans coming over here. So he said, why don't you come and work for me? And I said, I know nothing about golf. I don't know, less than nothing. So he said, that's fine. You know sales and you know travel, so come on board. So I did. And as soon as I joined Executive Golf and Leisure, I knew that I had great opportunities in the golf world. So I thought, I'm taking lessons. I'm going to go learn how to play golf, because I can play top championship golf courses right here in Scotland. So for me, it was a massive opportunity. And we were dealing mainly with high-end Americans who were coming into town. We were creating luxury tours, doing all their hotels, transportation, VIP helicopters, etc. So this was hugely exciting. And I thought, 2 years. I'll give it 2 years, and then I'll probably be on my way again. 21 years later,
wow, okay.
I am still at Executive Golf and Leisure. So it was a great fun job, and I really enjoyed it clearly.
How did your handicap come on over that period?
Yeah, no, it came on very well. And so when I started, as I said, I knew nothing about golf, but I was very passionate about it. And I can only describe it. Do you golf, Neil?
I do.
Do you?
Not very effectively, but
no,
I do.
Nobody does. So I can only describe it as when I was learning, it's like playing a slot machine. You put your money in, you don't win. You put your money in, you don't win. And then all of a sudden you win the big money. And that is how it feels when you hit a fantastic golf shot. And that's the one that keeps you coming back. Mm-hmm. So I persevered, and I'm
I like
now,
that analogy. I'll use that one myself. Yeah.
I'm now playing off 18, which is reasonable, so I can go out and play in any course, and I really thoroughly enjoy it. So, but while I was working with Executive Golf and Leisure, I had a little holiday break, and I went up to Harris, out in the Outer Hebridean Islands of Scotland. And I had always wanted to go there. The pictures were just so beautiful, and it really is God's country. I mean, it's just beautiful.
So were you there on expenses, or were you there on...
No, I was on my own cash. And so we went up there and we played some golf on the Harris golf course, which is a 9-hole golf course, and beautiful views. And on the way back, I popped into the Harris Tweed shop, and I thought, yeah, I'm going to buy myself some Harris Tweed. And I had always been fascinated with the whole process of how Harris Tweed is made. Mm-hmm. And I don't know if many people really realise that every single metre of Harris Tweed is hand-woven at the home of the weaver.
Wow.
Yeah. Wow.
One weaver? Multiple weavers?
No, there's about 145 weavers on the islands between Lewis and Battersea. So they all work independently, and but what they do is they're supported by 3 local mills. So the mills is where the wool is prepared for weaving. So it is washed, it is dyed, it is spun. And then once it's spun, the bobbins go out to the homes of the weavers. Mm-hmm. So then they are given a pattern to weave. And each one weaves whatever pattern they have been given. And then once they're finished, they take the fabric and they tie it up and they throw it out to the garden gate. Now, this happens, Neil, because I went and seen it, right? It's just incredible.
So it's obviously a massive commercial operation, but it's Mrs. Miggins who does the weaving.
Yeah. It's done in a traditional process, and it can only be called Harris Tweed if it follows those processes. So no Harris Tweed is ever made in a factory. So it's thrown out to the garden gate, and there's a guy comes round in a van and picks it up and takes it back to the mill. And then the mill finishes it. So they wash it and they inspect it and they iron it. And if they are happy with the quality, then they will stamp it with the orb of the authenticity for the Harris Tweed. So that is happening to this day. And I did not believe it. And
that's crazy.
Yeah, I know. I mean, it is really crazy. So it's also, it's precious. And it's something that we need to look after and protect and support those weavers. So I bought 2 metres of tweed, and I came home and I didn't know what I was going to do with it, but I knew that I didn't want what everybody else had. So I put the tweed on the bottom of my bed as a bed runner and went about my business for the next 2 years. And when I was working full-time, I was always running to the tee. So I finished work at 5:30, I was on the tee at 6, and I had to drive all the way to Auchterarder, so I was always running. And I would get all my gear together, and I thought, I look really disorganised. I really need to get myself a shoe bag. And it was at that point that I thought, that's what I'm going to do with my Harris Tweed. So nobody else was doing it, nobody else had it, and I thought, I'll just make a shoe bag. So I made a shoe bag and I just loved it. I was like, okay, now I have something that I truly adore and I'll be happy to use.
Connected to your golf.
And it's connected to the golf, it's connected to the islands, and I made it myself. And believe this or not, I started in 2014 and I started making product in my dad's garage with a Singer sewing machine, hand wound. That's how I started. I didn't have a sewing machine. And I was like, my dad's got an old one, we'll dig that out. So we made samples from calico fabric and cotton tartan just to begin with, because we didn't know if we were going to be able to do it. Yeah.
You didn't want to wreck the tweed.
No, and so it all started in my dad's garage, really. And so from there, I'm still working full time, and I'm thinking, I really like this shoe bag. And I thought, maybe somebody else will like it too. So I pondered on it, and I thought, I'm going to go see Business Gateway in Stirling. So Business Gateway are very supportive to new businesses, and so I
was Maggie around at that time in Stirling?
Yeah, I think Maggie might have been around at that point, and so I went off to them, and they were very encouraging and said, yeah, this is a really good idea, but what you need to do is go away and think of a range of products. So the next 3 months, I just went to my golf bag and thought, what do I use? I use head covers, I use tea bags, valuables pouches. I thought, right, okay, that's going to be my basic range. So I started a range, and that is how we came about. So great. From a sports physiotherapist to here.
Crazy. So what kind of year was that when you started that?
That was 2014.
Okay.
So we're now celebrating 12 years in business, and we're very proud of that. It's actually quite a feat, I think, in business these days. There's so many challenges.
If you get past 5 years, you're on a winner.
Yeah.
Well done.
Yeah.
So in terms of your route to market then, so how do you sell your product?
Yeah,
is it retail? Do you go through B2C, B2B?
Yeah, so we're kind of multifaceted in how we get to our market. We've got direct to consumer on our e-commerce site, and that's just maireadhume.com. And so we have our full range on our e-commerce site, all of the colours, all of the patterns, and obviously...
Still sourced directly from Harris?
Absolutely, still sourced directly from Harris Tweed. And what's really great is that range has developed quite a lot now, and obviously our e-commerce site is 24/7, so you can shop whenever you want to. Some people are night workers or day workers or whatever, so they can shop whenever they like. We don't have a dedicated shop anywhere, but it's all on the e-commerce site. And
do you get, is America your biggest demographic?
Well, UK and America are our biggest markets, but our website will reach global. So we have customers in South Korea. We have customers in Finland.
Asians go mad for their golf.
Yeah. Asians love anything tartan, Scottish, golf. And so, we are right across the world, which blows my mind. I'm just somebody sitting in Stirling, and I'm like, wow, we've reached somebody in South Korea. I mean, that's amazing. Yeah. We are big in America, and we've got one golf club in America as well, a private members club that has our stock as well.
In their pro shop.
So there is quite a lot of work still to be done to develop the brand.
There's a huge opportunity in America.
Yeah. Huge opportunity. So that's our e-commerce site, and we're also business to business. So we have a wholesale model as well, and one of our best customers is the Old Course at St Andrews.
Nice.
So in fact, that was one of my first
very
customers.
Very good marketing machine to use that one.
Yes. So and how we got to the Old Course was basically in our first year. I was just doing some social media. I didn't even really know what I was doing on social media. You weren't in the car up there pestering them every day? No, I
can't believe that. Somehow.
I know. So I was just on social media, and the buyer saw me, and they were like, "Come and see us," and I was a little bit overwhelmed because I'm like, this is the biggest customer I could ever even dream of, and so off I went. with a huge suitcase of samples, and I met the head buyer, and he looked at the products and he said, "This is super, Mairead. This is the only thing we've seen coming out of Scotland in forever." You know, so they were thrilled that something was available, being manufactured.
Authentic Scottish.
Exactly.
Linked to golf.
Exactly.
The home of golf, yeah.
And you know, the whole thing links back to Harris Tweed was a cloth of choice back in the day when golf first started. That was their performance fabric.
Right.
And so wool is a sustainable fabric. It was plentiful. It is durable. It's water resistant. So this was perfect for golf. And so I wanted to bring the tweed back into golf. But obviously we have so many different performance fabrics now that are stretchy, breathable, etc. So the accessories was how I was going to bring that back in. So so that's our wholesale and e-commerce attack.
Great. So it sounds like you're obviously producing this at a relatively big scale now. So how do you deal with manufacturing? So it's not you with your singing machine in the garage anymore.
No, it's not. We've moved on slightly. So what we did was when I started, and we started making it myself, I realised quite quickly that I couldn't keep up with that. So I collaborated with local artisan tailors here in Stirling. To this day, we're still working with most of them, and so they were happy to come along on the journey to produce the goods for me. And we have just recently moved our office. We have an office in Falkirk that's a little bit larger, where we're able to handle a little bit more of the fabric, the cutting. We also embroider, so we partner with a local embroidery company that are in the same building. So we have a little mini factory going on. And we still source the fabric from Harris. And as I said, it's really important for me to tell everybody how this is being done. It is being hand woven. This is not a fabric that is mass produced in a factory. So there is a labour of love that goes into this. And this is what, thrills me. So
I had a similar conversation with a guest, I don't know if you know Graham from Oakle Fudge, about that very thing, you know, the artisanal way that fudge is made, with the big pots and the handle, as opposed to, the massive conglomerates doing stuff at a factory kind of base level. It's fascinating. So you're never going to get to those volumes, obviously.
No, but that's not where we want to be.
That's not where you want to be.
No,
we
want to be unique.
Bespoke and special.
Exactly, Neil. So you want to keep that essence of history, tradition and uniqueness. And that is what people want to have, and our golfers are discerning golfers, members of private members clubs. They may be local clubs, but they are mad about the game, right? They're mad about the gear. And obviously, playing golf, it doesn't always work. You play great one day.
It's very similar to skiing.
Yes, it's very similar to skiing. So, one day you go out and you play your best game ever.
But you've got to have the best gear.
You've got to have the best gear. Yeah, you've got to look good, at least look the part. So our accessories really elevate the golf bag. And, we supply head covers for all the driver, the woods, putter covers, tea bags, for all your bits and bobs, valuables, pouches, and shoe bags, obviously, which was our core product when we started. But we also don't forget about the non-golfers. So quite often, your husband's going to play golf at the golf club, and the wife's going along as well. Why don't we give her a little bit of Harris Tweed to go into the clubhouse with? So we've got a range of goods that non-golfers can purchase as well. So
like bags and stuff like that.
Like bags, Okay. And we also, as well as the Harris Tweed, we've got a new complementary range of goods that's made from wax cotton. Now, wax cotton is made in Dundee at Halley Stevenson, and has been going for about 100 years. And so we now make some bags that are waterproof from the fabric from Halley Stevenson. So again, keeping it, the sourcing of the fabric here in Scotland, and then doing all the manufacturing in our workshop in Falkirk.
You ever thought of a Harris Tweed coated golf bag?
I've got one.
You've got one.
I have one.
Of course you do.
Of course I do. Yes, one of our signature products is a stroller bag. So just a walking Sunday stroller bag in Harris Tweed, and it's outstanding. Yeah.
Brilliant. Okay. So exciting times. So what does the future hold, and where would you like to go next?
Yeah. So it's a very exciting time digitally, because we've got all of our customers are using platforms such as ChatGPT and Claude, etc. And there is now agentic shopping and agentic search engine optimization. So people can be working away on their digital platforms, and they're able to see your products and purchase without even going to your website. So this is huge. And there's a lot of development of what we are doing on our website so that we can be seen on these platforms, and we are looking forward to the growth that we can see through that change. And also for our business to business, we are looking to expand more into America and also into Europe as well. We do some work in Europe on our e-commerce site, and we've gone through challenges with Brexit, we've gone through challenges with COVID, we've gone through challenges with Trump's tariffs. There's a lot of challenges going on, but that's where our growth, I think, is coming in the next few years. So we're hoping to stretch globally.
The world is your oyster with
Absolutely.
a platform like that. Who doesn't love golf, and who doesn't love Scottish tartan and
exactly
and tweed? The tweed thrown in is fantastic.
It's very well connected.
Brilliant. Okay, well, Mairead.
Got it right.
I had to think about that. My brain wasn't working quickly enough. Thanks for coming along to the Stirling Business Podcast.
You're welcome.
And spending some time here in Stirling with us today. Thank you.
You're very welcome. Thank you for having me.
And good luck with everything, I hope. But I don't think you need the luck from the sounds of it, but it sounds fantastic.
It's always handy to have, though, Neil.
Yeah.
Thanks
Brilliant.
very much.
Okay. Thank you. Take care. So that brings us to another end of an episode of the Stirling Business Podcast. Thank you again to our guest this week. Remember to follow us on the YouTube channel, on Spotify and Apple Podcasts. Until next time, stay safe.